You have a quorum, Mr. Chairman.
All right. Thank you all for being here. The scheduling for this group of individuals has been a challenge, and I want to thank Hobie in particular for trying to track each of you down. So we're going to try to move through this because these are important appointments, but we actually physically had to take the time to do it. So the first one, you're going to look at your sheet, and we've had some others that got added late last night. So Hobie, are these on this sheet as well, or? Okay, we'll get to that separate sheet when we get to those. The first is the Appalachian Regional Interstate Compact. There's one citizen member. We were trying to find somebody, so I'd asked Senator Carrico if he was willing to do it. And then Senator Chafin called me this morning and said Richard Lockridge from Russell would be willing to do it. So Senator Carrico, it's your region. I'm going to let you call the ball whether you would like Mr. Richard Lockridge from Russell or yourself.
I would prefer to do it because Russell is not along the I-81 corridor.
For the Appalachian Regional Interstate
Oh, I'm
Compact.
sorry. Yeah, let's let him.
Okay.
Let's let him do it.
Okay. Yeah, this is.
He's hung over from his first tax increase vote that he made.
This is a citizen, because it could be a citizen or a senator. So, okay, so Senator Carrico moves Richard Lockridge from Russell County be appointed to the vacancy. All in favor of that motion, please signify by saying aye. Or is it aye or vote? Aye. Aye. That is approved. Richard Lockridge. The next one is the Broadband Advisory Council. So we had Senator Carrico was very gracious because of his other commitments. He tendered his resignation off this committee. So we have one new position and one vacancy. Senator Ruff is already on the commission. So I know there have been a number of people that have expressed interest. There's certain things with broadband going on between now and the end of the year that I think we might be able to move the ball on. But Senator Norman, do you have a motion?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I would nominate Senator Sturtevant and Senator McDougal. Or are we just doing one?
No, we're two.
Two. That would be my suggestion, sir.
Motion has been made and seconded to appoint Senator Sturtevant and Senator McDougal to the Broadband Advisory Commission. All in favor of that motion, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, like sign, and that is agreed to. The next is the Capitol Square Preservation. This is one citizen to replace an ineligible member, and we received a list of nominations from the Virginia Society of the American Institute of Architects and the Virginia Fine Arts Museum. So those are the ones that you see as Senate staff, and there's one citizen vacancy. So the recommendations are either Andrew Moore or Robert Cornett, and I do not know either one. Comet, okay. I need glasses. Okay.
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 I would move Andrew Moore.
Senator Norman moves and Senator Hanger seconds the appointment of Andrew Moore to the Capitol Square Preservation Council. All in favor of that motion, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, like sign, and that is agreed to. Next is charitable gaming. There's one reappointment and request reappointment, which is Sam Kaufman. And then there's one replacement, and that is James Corrigan, who is he ineligible, Hobie? Yeah, I think he's ineligible to be reappointed. Oh, he passed away. James Corrigan passed away, which makes him ineligible. So the staff has identified Kenneth Fitzgerald. He's a retired major from the Danville Police Department.
I would nominate him, sir.
So the motion is to nominate Kenneth Fitzgerald for the new position and Sam Kaufman as the reappointment. Senator Hanger seconds that. All in favor of those nominations of Sam Kaufman for reappointment and Kenneth Fitzgerald for appointment, please signify by saying aye. All opposed, like sign. That motion is agreed to. The next is the Children's Services State Executive Council. This is to replace Senator Wexton. I know Senator Mason contacted Senator Norman, myself, and I think Senator Locke nominated Senator Boysko, and Senator Favola expressed an interest.
I would nominate Senator Mason.
Motion has been made and seconded by Senator Hanger to appoint Senator Mason to the Children's Services State Executive Council. All in favor of that motion, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, like sign, and that is agreed to. All right, next you have the Clean Energy Advisory Board. This is three citizens. Three citizen appointees, and this is
Mr.
Hobie.
Chairman, the dumb waiter has arrived. I think if anybody wants a drink from the bar.
Here it starts.
Look at that.
This, so,
Mr.
Hobie-
Chairman.
I think the jacket lost control before
Yeah,
the rest of
Mr.
it came
Chairman,
in.
this is just not right over here.
So the Clean Energy Advisory Board, and Hobie, this part's not on the, got cut off the sheet, but this is, you have three, it's not on this one. We had three individuals that they had to come from particular areas. One from a investor-owned utility, one from a cooperative, and then another individual that the MDV SEIA board would recommend. So the recommendations we have for the investor-owned utility is Catherine Bond, and then the individual for the electric co-op would be Marcus Harris. And we have not yet gotten a recommendation on the third position. Is that correct, Hobie? So,
I would nominate Catherine Bond for the investor.
and Marcus Harris for the co-op?
I don't know him, but that's fine too.
Yeah. So that was, the motion is to nominate Catherine Bond for the investor position and Marcus Harris for the co-op position. All in favor of that, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, like sign, and they are agreed to. And Hobie, we still need, they need to give us a recommendation for us to be able to approve it. So we're still waiting for them to come with a recommendation. As soon as we get that, we will poll for that position. What? Yeah, you're fine. Okay. Then next is, back on your sheet, is the Code Commission. We have a couple different things, so we're going to take these up individually. One is a citizen vacancy, which has to be a former senator, and this was to replace Senator Calhoun, whose health reasons resigned, and he's been a longstanding member of that committee. In our conversations, we reached out to Bo Trumbo, and he indicated that he was willing and amenable to serve.
I would nominate Senator Slambo.
Motion's been made and seconded to nominate Bo Trumbo of Fincastle to fill the vacancy on the Code Commission. That would be one senator. All in favor of that, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, like sign, and that's agreed to. The next two positions are ones that are currently held by citizens and are available for reappointment. One is Judge Charlie Sharp, who I would suggest that we move forward with. The other position is held by the former director, or currently filled by the former director of Legislative Services, Ian Miller. In our conversations, Mr. Miller has expressed a desire to continue to serve. I think he's been there for a long time. I think that we probably need some level of diversity on that. No, that's some level of diversity on the Code Commission, and in looking for individuals, Nicole, how do you pronounce her last name, Mark? Chook, who is a attorney locally with Sands Anderson and is a former member of the Legislative Services Committee, is an individual that has expressed interest and I think could add some needed diversity on that committee. New perspective on that committee.
I would nominate Nicole
And Charlie Sharp, Judge Sharp.
and Judge.
And traditionally, that position we've had filled with a person who's been a member of the judiciary. So motion is to nominate Nicole Chuck and Charlie Sharp for appointment to the Code Commission. All in favor of that motion, please signify by saying aye. All opposed, like sign, and those are agreed to. The next is the Disability Commission. We've tried to see if there were any suggestions. As of right now, we've not received any recommendations. Does any member of the committee have a recommendation? There are some requirements. The person has to be a member of the medical, insurance, or rehabilitation professional. Okay. All right, so we're going to re-ask membership for that one and poll if we get some recommendations. Next is the Eastern Virginia Medical School Board of Visitors. There are two citizens that are eligible for reappointment. Both have requested reappointment. They're Dr. Teresa Emery of Newport News and Chester Hart of Suffolk. We've received no additional recommendations.
I would nominate Dr. Emery and Chester Hart.
Motion has been made and seconded by Senator Hanger to nominate Dr. Emery and Chester Hart for reappointment to EVMS Board of Visitors. All in favor of that motion, please signify by saying aye. Opposed, like sign, and that's agreed to. Next is the Employment Services Organization Steering Committee. This is a new committee, and Senator Hanger, you carried the legislation for this new committee, and can see that that you have to have particular qualifications in order to fill the different memberships spots. So we have the Association of Community Rehab Programs recommended Robin Metcalf of Richmond and Chuck McElroy. They recommended a number of people.
We get four total?
We get two.
We get two.
Oh, they recommend. Susan, any indication of what the House is doing? And then Goodwill recommended Sean Smith and that they recommended one person.
Megan.
Oh, and Megan Berg.
So we need to recommend four?
We pick one of those. Okay, so we have one from that group and then two from the above group, so we get three total? Okay. So we either have to pick Sean Smith or Megan Bergen, and then we have to pick two from the above group of Robin Metcalf, Chuck McElroy, Shirley Lyons, and Joanne Orchard.
Let's see.
Yeah. If there are no other preferences, I would move Robin Metcalf, Chuck McElroy.
Okay.
Motion has been made and properly seconded to appoint Robin Metcalf and Chuck McElroy. Motion been made, seconded by Senator Norman. All in favor of that, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, like sign. They are agreed to. And for the second group,
Recommend Sean Smith.
motion's been made and seconded by Senator Norman to recommend Sean Smith. All in favor of that, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, like sign. That's agreed to. Hobie, you sure we get three?
Yes, sir, and then that'll be your fourth appointment.
Okay, we have one, there is, on this commission, again, for those who are maybe watching at home or in the audience, There are certain positions that we have to receive recommendations from. We have still not received a recommendation from the Virginia Association of People Supporting Employment First. Once we receive a recommendation from that group, then we can move forward with that fourth appointment. So we are waiting. All right. And we will probably poll for that once we receive that recommendation. Next is the Ethics Joint Subcommittee, and we have one citizen appointment. In talking with individuals, the Honorable Bo Trumbo's name came up again as a good individual that is familiar from multitude of different directions with the impacts of the ethics laws and would be a good selection, and he's willing to do it, which this is a thankless position.
It is a very rewarding position,
Very-
and I could not think of anyone other than Judge Trumbo who should enjoy that reward.
Senator Norman moves and Senator Ruff seconds Bo Trumbo as the appointment to the Ethics Joint Subcommittee. All in favor of that motion, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, like sign, and that's agreed to. The next is the FOIA Advisory Council. The current citizen member is ineligible for reappointment, and the individual has to be an officer of local government. I suggest Sterling Reeves, who is a long-term county attorney, and he served on the Air Board, I think, for a while. So he has some very interesting perspectives for FOIA, and he was actually willing to go to the meetings, which is also important. He did retire, so it could be, you could be or have been an officer of local government.
He qualifies, and I would nominate him.
Motion is to appoint Sterling Reeves to the FOIA Council. It's been made and properly seconded. All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. That is agreed to. Next is Growth and Opportunity Board, two citizens' appointments. Ben Davenport and Haywood Freeland are both eligible for reappointment and have requested that. And Senator Ruff recommended Ben Davenport.
I nominate Haywood Freeland.
So the motion has been made from Senator Ruff for Ben Davenport and Senator Norman for Haywood Freeland. All in favor of those nominations of Davenport and Freeland, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, like sign, and that's agreed to. Next is the Indigent Defense Commission. A little bit confusing, but because Senator Obenshain is chairman of the Crime Commission and chairman of courts, that means that Senate Rules gets to appoint a position as a result. So in consultation with Senator Obenshain, our recommendation was Senator Deeds, and he has expressed interest and is willing to go to those meetings.
So moved.
Motion has been made and properly seconded to nominate Senator Deeds to the Indigent Defense Commission. All in favor of that, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, like sign, and that is agreed to. Next is the Innovation and Entrepreneurship Investment Authority, two potential citizens. The Angela Kellett of Boynton and Marilyn Crowther of Oak Hill are both eligible for reappointment. And Senator Cosgrove has also sent forward Roland Davis to serve on that position. And so that's where the motion has been made to reappoint Angela Kellett. All in favor of that motion, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, like sign, and Angela Kellett is agreed to be reappointed. And for that, the second position, Oak Hill is also in.
It's close to me.
Okay.
Yeah. There may be more than one, but it's up near Herndon.
Okay.
Yeah, and I would
Yeah, I thought,
nominate Marilyn Crowther.
I was thinking of do you know Marilyn Crowther?
No.
Hobie, any other information than what we see on our sheet? Okay. When was from, it has to be rural areas. A senior executive of a technology firm, so that was, do you have, Hobie, can you pull up Roland Davis's resume? And let's come back to that one while you're doing that. The Institute for Advanced Learning Research Board of Trustees, 3 citizen reappointments. Roy Floyd of Danville, Angela Goodwin of Martinsville, and Chris Willard of Hardy are eligible and requested reappointment. Motion has been made and seconded to reappoint Roy Floyd, Angeline Goodwin, and Chris Willard. All in favor of that, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, like sign, and those are agreed to. Next is I-81, Study Commission, 3 Senate vacancies. This was Senator Obenshain's bill. Senator Obenshain suggested Senator Obenshain, and then I know Senator Deeds has expressed interest, and then Senator Carrico had expressed interest.
Didn't we fix this yet?
So Obenshain, Deeds, Carrico have all expressed interest, and Senator Edwards expressed interest.
Definitely Carrico.
Yeah.
Keep him around.
I think Senator Edwards needs to be on it. He has a large section of I-81 that would be very helpful to my region. So I would make the motion, Senator Edwards.
Okay, so you want to make the motion for yourself, Senator Edwards and Senator Obenshain? Is that the motion? That has been made and properly seconded?
I'll make the motion.
So nominating Obenshain, Edwards, and Carrico. Made and properly seconded. All in favor of said motion, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, like sign. And that is agreed to. The Northern Virginia Transportation Commission, this is Senator Wexton's vacancy. So I think Senator Eben is currently as our other appointee to that position. And even though he is going to be retiring, this position will go to the end of the year because it's the end of the term. And Senator Black expressed some interest in serving on that till the end of the year.
So moved. Second.
Motion has been made to appoint Senator Black to the Northern Virginia Transportation Commission vacancy till the end of his term. All in favor of that motion, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, like sign, and that is agreed to. Next, as you flip over on your sheet on number 19, you have the Research Technology Investment Committee, and this is 2 citizen appointments. And you have the 2 citizens are eligible for reappointment. Vinka Rao and Robert Kahn of Annandale and Reston, respectively, and then the staff of what's RTIA? Okay, they have recommended appointed David Hinton of Norfolk and Vinka Rao. So, okay. So Robert Kahn has not expressed any interest one way or the other that we're aware of. Okay. So Venkat Rao is recommended for reappointment, and then there's recommended a new appointment of David Hinton, who is with the strategic integration at NASA, at Langley. So Senator Howell moves Mr. Rao and Mr. Hinton, all in Senator Newman seconds. All in favor of those recommendations, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, like sign, and those are agreed to. The School Readiness Committee, there are 3 Senate member appointments. Senator Eben, Donovan, and Suderline are all eligible for reappointment.
Second.
And that is on recommendation of the Senator Newman, the Chair of Ed and Health. The motion has been made and properly seconded to reappoint Eben, Donovan, and Suderline. All in favor of said motion, please signify by saying aye. Opposed, like sign, and those 3 are reappointed. Next is the Secure and Resilient Commonwealth Panel. There's 1 citizen appointment. I think if there was Delegate Joe Bouchard's term expired, and the other citizen member is Margie Vanderhei, who is on there. So the name of Jeff McWaters, because from Hampton Roads, is one that came up in conversations yesterday. Does anybody else have any recommendations?
Mr. Chairman, Margaret Vanderhei
Is currently on, so this,
currently on.
yeah, so right now, this is replacing former Delegate Joe Bouchard's position. She is the current member that we have appointed that goes through, she's got 1 more year left before she would need to be reappointed.
I second Corky.
Madam Clerk is very excited. Motion has been made to nominate Jeff McWaters to the Secure and Resilient Commonwealth Panel. All in favor of that, please signify by saying aye. Opposed, like sign, and that is agreed to. Next is the Solar Energy Development and Energy Storage Authority. It's citizen appointment, and Catherine Bond is eligible and requests reappointment.
So moved.
Motion has been made and properly seconded to reappoint Catherine Bond to the Solar Energy and Development, Solar Energy Storage Development Authority. All in favor of that, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Motion is agreed to. Next is the Southwest Virginia Research and Development Authority. This is a new position. Senator Chafin sent this morning a message, and are those on the sheet? Okay. He is suggesting Travis Hackworth of Tazewell, Steve Breeding of Russell, and Marcy Hernick of Buchanan.
So moved.
Motion has been made and Senator Norman seconds. Travis Hackworth of Tazewell, Steve Breeding of Russell, and Marcy Hernick of Buchanan. All in favor of that motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign, and that is agreed to. Next is the Standards of Learning Innovation Committee. There are 3 Senate reappointments, which the current members are Newman, McDougal, and McPike. And this is a recommendation of the Chair for Ed and Health.
Chairman, I move that we reappoint, but thank goodness we killed that committee off and should be done in June.
Okay. So Senator Newman moves to reappoint for 3 months. Newman, McDougal, and McPike. All in favor of that motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign, and that is agreed to for the next 3 months. Next is the Substance Abuse Services Council to replace Senator Wexton. Not showing on your sheet, but Senator Barker expressed interest in that
So moved.
yesterday. He's the only member that expressed interest, correct, Toby? Substance Abuse Services Council. Oh. Barker is the member on it. So we need to put somebody else on it.
Shall not seek nor will I.
Senator Norman moves Senator Chase be the other appointee to the Substance Abuse Advisory Council, and Senator Ruff seconds that.
Substitute, I'm thinking we have Senator Boysko, who is very talented and is not on, as far as I can tell, anything.
That might be true. Because she was elected after we did the last round of appointments. All right, so Senator Howell moves Senator Boysko and Senator Wagner seconds, Senator Boysko be appointed to the Substance Abuse Services Council. All in favor of that motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign, and she is appointed. Next is JCOTS, and this is a vacancy to replace Wexton. Senator Elbin requested appointment. Senator Locke recommended Boysko. Senator Cosgrove, Locke, DeStuff, and Donovan are on the commission. So
Senator Evans.
Second.
motion has been made to appoint Senator Eben to JCOTS. All in favor of that motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign, and he is appointed. The Veteran Services Foundation Board of Trustees, this is one citizen to a 4-year term to replace James Boyd of Richlands, who is not eligible. And this has to be a citizen appointment, correct, Toby? Can't be a member appointment. So anybody, and so I don't think that Senator Locke, who's shown on your sheet, okay. That's move her down to the next line. There's because this is a fundraising type position, correct? Okay. All right, so the staff says that they are going to get us a recommendation, so we will likely poll for that. The next is the Veteran Services Board. There are 2 Senate vacancies. One that was held by Senator Wexton, and then there's a 3rd senator that could be added. Senator Reeves is currently on that committee, correct, Toby? So, okay, so Senator Locke is one recommendation. Senator Cosgrove is a second.
I nominate Senator Cosgrove and Senator Locke.
Motion has been made to appoint Locke and Cosgrove to the 2 vacant positions on the Veteran Services Board. All in favor of that motion, please signify by saying aye. Opposed, like sign, and that is agreed to. Next is the VASAP Commission. There is 1 reappointment and then 1 vacancy. So the reappointment would be Pat Eggleston, who's been on the commission for a multitude of years, since 2005. And then the commission staff recommended Anthony Carmichael, who's with the director of the Southeastern VASAP office.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Motion has been made to reappoint Pat Eggleston and to appoint Anthony Carmichael. All in favor of that, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign, and that is agreed to. The next is the VCU Health Systems Authority. There are 3 potential reappointments. The members that are currently serving are myself, former Secretary of Administration Lisa Hicks Thomas, and 1 does have to be a physician, and that individual is Bruce Mathern. And all are eligible and for some reason have requested reappointment, even though we struggle with that,
I would move all 3.
me personally. So all in favor of the reappointments of McDougall, Lisa Hicks Thomas, and Mathern, please signify by saying aye. All opposed, like sign, and that is agreed to. Next is the Virginia Israeli Advisory Board. There's 1 citizen vacancy. Brian Green was recommended by the staff of the Virginia Israeli Advisory Board, and then 2 citizen reappointments would be Chuck Lesson of Richmond and Mark Dreyfus of Virginia Beach, and both are eligible and have requested reappointments. Motion is been made to reappoint Chuck Lesson and Mark Dreyfus and to appoint Brian Green to the Virginia Israeli Advisory Board. All in favor of that motion, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, like sign, and that is agreed to. Okay, so if you look at the back of the sheet, so we have, how how do you pronounce her last name? Tara and John, we're gonna go with that. They, you can, hopefully you can read the back, because she, Pascarosa, Tara Pascarosa and John Peterson. Apparently, we did not select one is appointed to 2020 and one to 2021, correct? Okay, so Senator Norman moves that John Peterson goes to 2020 and Tara Pascarosa goes to 2021. The bill extended the life of the committee and how the appointments were done, so we had to select. All in favor of that motion, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, like sign, and that's agreed to. So then we have, yes. More. These are new from last night. So, not that he's telegraphing anything, but Senator Wagner, because of announcing that he's leaving us without his expertise for a number of issues, resigned from his committee assignments, and so these are the committees on which he sits. And there are a number of them.
No wonder he never got anything done.
So a couple, and I know Senator Wagner, you might have had some thoughts on a couple of these. One on the administrative rules, I know Senator Sturtevant had expressed some interest in. Okay. So motion's been made to appoint Senator Sturtevant to the Joint Commission of Administrative Rules. All in favor of that motion, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, like sign. The Autism Advisory Council, who is our other member on that? Our current members are Hanger and Wagner.
Frank, are you resigning right now?
Yes, last night.
His jacket says yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Senator Newman has expressed some interest in that. So Senator Norman moves, Senator Hanger seconds that Senator Newman fill the Autism Advisory Council position. All in favor of that, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, like sign, and that's agreed to. The next is the Chesapeake Bay Commission, and Senator Cosgrove has expressed interest in Senator Wagner nominates Senator Cosgrove, seconded by Senator Norman. All in favor of Senator Cosgrove to the Chesapeake Bay Commission, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, like sign, and that's agreed to. The next is the Coal and Energy Commission. Right now, it's Wagner, Carrico, Barker, Stanley, and Suderline.
We can put anybody on that. I don't know when that's met, when we met. It's
Put Chafin on there.
Chafin.
Yep, Chafin. So Senator Carrico moves, Wagner seconds, Senator Chafin to the Coal and Energy Commission. All in favor of that, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, like sign. That's agreed to. The next is Senator Norman. This is one that you have a lot of involvement with over the years, and that's the electric utility Huh? Okay.
I nominate Senator McDougal.
Normand has moved, Hanger seconds, McDougal for the Electric Regulation Commission. All in favor of that motion, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, like sign, and that's agreed to. Stanley, you just got yourself on some other stuff, I think. The next is the Employee Retirement Security and Pension Reform Commission. Norman and Hanger are there, Ruff is there, Wagner and Barker.
Al.
Okay. Jana, are you okay? I'm not gonna let you,
Yeah,
okay.
no, I think I probably should.
Yeah, okay.
I think you can.
Okay, motion has been made to appoint Senator Howell to the Employee Retirement, Security, and Pension Reform Commission. All in favor of that, please signify by saying aye. Opposed, like sign, and that's agreed to. Next is the Joint Subcommittee on Coastal Flooding. Right now, it's Senator Locke, Lewis, and Wagner. So it probably needs to be,
Somebody from the Flatlands.
Yeah.
Cosgrove or to staff.
yeah, Cosgrove or DeStuff. Why don't you nominate, Frank?
Good toss-up. To staff.
Okay. Motion has been made to appoint Senator DeStuff to the Joint Subcommittee on Coastal Flooding. All in favor of that motion, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, like sign, and that's agreed to. The next is the Frontier Culture Museum, which is now Hanger, Stanley, and Wagner.
I'll defer to Senator
Emmett.
Hanger.
This is your neck of the woods.
Well, I don't know who has an interest
It's
in
a great,
it.
it's a fun committee.
It is good, it's a good one.
Emmett, you got somebody in mind?
No, I didn't have any in mind. I
Janet.
didn't know that you were up, what you were up to.
I would
It probably,
nominate Senator Boysko.
okay. Motion has been made to nominate Senator Boysko to the Frontier and Culture Museum. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign, and she is nominated. Next one is Hampton Roads Transportation Accountability Commission. Senator Wagner, it's you and Senator Cosgrove are the current members.
Senator Norman, you got any ideas?
No, I'm ineligible.
There are only 40 of them. Peninsula guy? Yeah, because we got a South Side guy. Yeah, Senator Mason.
Nominate Monty Mason.
Motion has been made to nominate Senator Mason to the Hampton Roads Transportation Accountability Commission. All in favor of that motion, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, like sign, and that's agreed to. Next is the Hampton Roads TPO, which is right now has Wagner and Locke. So probably needs to be
We need a South
Co-
Side.
Cosgrove or DeStuff, right?
Got a preference? Cosgrove, okay.
Motion has been made and properly seconded to nominate Senator Cosgrove to the Hampton Roads Transportation Planning Organization Board. All in favor of that motion, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, like sign, and that's agreed to. Next is the HERC, Health Insurance Reform Commission. It's currently Wagner, Dance, Saslaw, McDougal. So it probably has to come from Commerce and Labor. So, okay. So you interested, Stanley, or Senator Newman's?
He was over here begging.
Huh? Would you?
You're going out the wrong way there, Terry.
Motion has been made to appoint Senator Stanley to HERC. All in favor of that motion, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, like the sign. So Senator Stanley is appointed to HERC. The Joint Commission on Transportation Accountability, you have Deeds, Wagner, Carrico, and Suderline.
How often do they meet, Frank? Twice a year?
So I'm the chairman, we meet once or twice a year.
What we talked about.
Huh? You got a suggestion, Tommy?
Usually in Northern Virginia.
You want to do it?
Evan?
So nominate, well, we're going to nominate Senator Normant to the Joint Commission on Transportation Authority. Senator Ruff moves, Senator Hanger seconds. Normant to the Joint Commission on Transportation Authority. All in favor of that motion, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, like sign, and that's agreed to.
Can you drive through all that traffic to get up there?
Next is the Manufacturing Development Commission. It's, so this has typically been, we have Wagner, Stanley, and DeStuff are the current Senate members, but it's a large committee. Frank, do you have a suggestion? Or either Frank, Ruff, or, because this is typically manufacturing, so it,
Yeah.
Hampton Roads and Southside are where we,
How about Frank Ruff? He nodded yes.
okay. Motion been made, probably seconded, to nominate Frank Ruff to the Manufacturing Development Commission. All in favor of that motion, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, like sign, and that's agreed to. So the next is the Southern States Energy Board. And right now, it's Wagner, Edwards, and Cosgrove.
I can do that if nobody else wants to. I go sometimes.
Okay. I nominate Senator Hanger.
Motion has been made, probably seconded, to nominate Senator Hanger to the Southern States Energy Board. All in favor of that motion, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, like sign, that's agreed to. Next is the Unemployment Commission.
There goes unemployed.
This actually it's Wagner, Dance, and Sturtevant are on there, so I don't think there's a requirement that they be from Commerce and Labor, but it's highly encouraged that the member be from Commerce and Labor. But this one, they end up making recommendations about things that deal with what the unemployment insurance is for business, so it actually, some important decision.
Mr. Chairman, what the commission does, first of all, we do a quarterly review of where the trust fund sits, what the stability of the trust fund is, and whether we're going to need fund builder taxes applied or not. And right now, I'm pleased to tell you it's in really good shape and improving rapidly. But it's your, if you will, canary in the coal mine of actions we may have to take, and it should be somebody off of Commerce and Labor because the issues will ultimately wind up in Commerce and Labor.
Have any suggestion?
Senator Stewart.
It's Wagner, Dance, and Sturtevant are the two. So,
He said Stewart, is what he said.
Stewart.
okay. Motion has been made and probably seconded to appoint Senator Stewart to the Unemployment Commission. All in favor of that motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign, and that is agreed to. The final one is State Water Commission, and right now, that is Stewart, Ruff, Wagner, Stanley, and Lewis. Probably should be somebody from Ag. Who's on Ag, Hobie? Probably should be a Democrat to have some balance. Got Marsden, Eben, Lewis, Dance, Suderline, Mason, and McClellan. I'd read Dance or Mason would be, I don't think McPike's on Ag. I didn't read.
Oh, he's not on
I don't think, no, he's not. So I would say Mason or Dance would probably, Mason.
I nominate Mason.
Motion is to nominate Senator Mason to the Water Commission. All in favor of that motion, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, like sign, and that is agreed to. And Hobie, we had one more that we had to go back to. You were pulling up the. Okay. You want to just, we're going to make sure that everybody sees the resume, we'll just poll on that one. So I think we have 3 positions to poll for. So did we cover everything? Did we miss anybody? Madam Clerk, we miss anybody?
Innovation, number 15.
So,
Senator Stanley has someone he wants to nominate, don't you?
Yes, I'll just hold it in there.
Give us your name.
What does that matter?
You wanna
which one
put
is
his
this
name
one?
in, Richard Hall.
Innovation,
Which page are we
Mr. Chairman.
on? This is number 15, the Innovation Entrepreneurship Investment Authority.
Yes.
And so right now, we renominated Angela Collette of Boynton. The Marilyn Crowther of Oak Hill is the other one. there's been a recommendation by Senator Cosgrove of Roland Davis, but we think that you have to meet a specific CEO position, and so that's why we couldn't see Davis's resume to make sure he qualifies for the requirements.
Okay, and so I believe this person would qualify even under those stringent circumstances. His name's Richard Hall. He owns a company now that works for law enforcement and IT in the dark web. He was the CEO and founder of Commonwealth Laminating and Coating, which is now Eastman Kodak. Orion Capital, he runs that, and this would be right up his alleyway, so.
And this has to be from a list by General Laws and Technology and the Joint Commission too. Is that correct? So, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just winked at the chairman, so he's on the list.
Okay. All right, so
And I'll submit his resume.
Richard Hall.
Richard Hall.
Motion has been made to place Richard Hall in the second place on the Innovation Entrepreneurship Investment Authority. All in favor of that motion, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, like sign, and he's not selected. All right, any other positions? Well, with that, thank y'all very much. We moved through that very quickly. Appreciate y'all taking the time, everybody to be here. Thank you. There were actually a lot of positions, so thank y'all.
Boy.